United beat City at the Etihad as Liverpool's losing streak continues. All of this and so much more on this week's episode of Added Time. All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Added Time. My name is Sonny G, and I am here with the guys, as always, Mike, Angus, Steve, and for the first time, we welcome Chris to the team. What's happening, Chris?
Not bad, thanks.
Good. So another dismal week for Mike and the boys, whilst Steve and myself pretty happy. Everyone all right?
Yeah, not too bad at all.
Yeah.
Getting on.
Yeah, right. We have got a live game as well while we're on. Well, it's actually kicks off at 7:15. Spurs taking on Crystal Palace, and we will be going to John for live goal updates, providing there is some. And he is wearing suit-like attire, so this is good news. Okay, so we'll start as we always do with the weekend rundown, and Burnley hold Arsenal at home, 1-1. So good result for Burnley. Moment of madness for Granit Xhaka as he costs Arsenal right before the end. What do we make of this one, guys? Chris, we'll start with you, mate. It's your first show. There's a picture.
Interesting, wasn't it? I think it's a good result for Burnley because Arsenal have been on the up, haven't they? One of the last couple of games. It's a good result for them. The goal was freakish, though, wasn't it? What was Xhaka doing, passing it from the back? Just hoof it, get rid.
Yeah, get rid of it. Absolute moment of complete madness from Xhaka. But I think he is that kind of player, isn't he? He's he does have those inconsistencies in him, and he's cost Arsenal this weekend. And you are right in what you're saying. They have been playing well. They have been picking up results, but that inconsistency isn't good enough, and that's not where Arsenal want to be. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a good start for Aubameyang scored 5 minutes into the game. Was almost a Nick Pope own goal. He would have wanted to save that. He would be disappointed with that one going in. Couple of other chances in the game. Big miss from Saka. Chris Wood's goal was odd. And somebody put in the group it was a strange goal, just deflected in off him. But on the commentary team, they said Saka shot himself in the foot there because it was a bit of a giveaway. A couple of other things to raise from the game, lads. There was another handball in this match that wasn't given that looked like one that would have been given earlier on in the season. That was a bit of a strange one. And
these rule changes are ridiculous, aren't they?
That's it, exactly. And there was a red card in this match, wasn't there? Who got sent off and then got left back on in this one?
It was it Saka?
It might have been.
Could have been, but they looked at it with the VAR.
Eric Peters.
Too harsh.
Oh, Eric Peters.
They said it was a harsh decision and changed it, didn't they? So it was all a bit of a hodgepodge, but great result for Burnley, and much needed at that bottom half of the table, which is all still in flux at the moment. So as we know after today's game, for God's sake.
That's fine, Mike, because you can battle Arsenal for 10th spot now, can't you?
Yeah,
that's it. That's where we are in the way things have gone. I was going to mention later on, but I might as well put it out there now that this is like the biggest decline in a team I've ever seen. Like a really bad spell. I've seen teams, who've been relegated who haven't had as bad spells as this, and I've seen us, play other times where we've had, poor teams and not good squads and everything. But I've never seen us have a play like this. I've never seen it happen to any team like this. So it does seem to be like a bit of a curse or something. But things can literally only get better, really. I think so. But I didn't catch who's this chap in the top corner anyway. Who do you support, Chris?
Yeah, you know what? The one and only.
I knew, really. Yeah, so, but not a good result for Arsenal. They've looked, a lot better recently, but not so much in this game. Good start, but that was it. And Gavin's joined in now as well. Up the toffees, here we go. They're all coming off the woodwork today.
He's a Liverpudlian. He's a Liverpudlian. It's like you, Mike. He's trying to beg me in to banter with him. Not happening. Get lost, Gav. Get lost, Gav.
And hi to Lewis as well, who's watching.
All right, evening, chaps. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with us. Tough game for Everton tomorrow away at Chelsea, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But Southampton picking up 3 valuable points against Sheffield United, who are doomed. There's no two ways about it. They're done for certain. I mean, we were saying, I think last week about Southampton and how they were not looking great, not looking their usual selves, but they've bounced back here and picked up a good 3 points against, next season's championship side, Sheffield United. So good result for them, for sure. Shea Adams, James Ward-Prowse on the score sheet for Southampton. And hopefully a sign of better things to come for them.
Yeah,
Steve, what do you think? What do you think to Southampton picking up 3 points there?
Much needed for them, definitely. They were on a really bad run. I think I said a few weeks back that they were probably looking over their shoulder a little bit, having been at the top of the league. Well, they were literally top of the league not that long ago. It doesn't feel that long ago to then be 13th and looking over their shoulder. But this was a much needed win, and it is doing good for Sheffield United. I think if they were going to have a smidgen of hope of maybe making some sort of, or creating some sort of miracle, that was the game that they perhaps needed to pick up those points, and it hasn't happened. So I think that's them gone. I really do. I can't see, especially with the other results that we've had this weekend. Sorry, Mike. It's not looking good for them. I hope they stick with Chris Wilder. Give him a chance in the Championship. It doesn't usually work out, though. You don't often see a team go down, stick with the manager, and then they come straight back up with that same manager. Has happened, but I hope they stick with him.
Yeah, he's done really well for them. He really has. He took them to unexpected heights last season. They had a really good season. This year, they've just not been at the races at all.
It was really strange. It was almost, despite that really good season they had last year, the last 5 or 6 games, they really dropped off. And a lot of people were saying, I can see them struggling next season.
Do you not think? So, in the transfer window leading up to this coming season, they didn't spend well on the right players. Obviously, Liverpool ripped them off with Brewster, but they didn't. Other than Sander Berge, I think anyone who's played Football Manager knows who Sander Berge is. But they haven't bought the right players, have they? To fill the gaps.
Correct. They spent money on Rhea Brewster, and they probably should have gone and got Ollie Watkins. They were in for him as well. Villa have got him. Look where Villa are, and look at the season he's had. So, correct. You're absolutely bang on. I agree with you. They've not signed very well. I don't think Brewster's scored, has he?
No.
He's not looked as good.
We've got Leicester next week. We love gifting people a goal who haven't scored for about 5 years.
Yeah, but we do as well, though.
It's unbelievable.
Get your bets on that for that one.
Werner hat-trick for Chelsea tomorrow, probably. Now you've said that. Right. Next game, Aston Villa and Wolverhampton play out a 0-0 draw. Not really an awful lot to say about this, to be fair. I mean, I would say they are 2 fairly even teams.
Two teams missing their main men, I think. That's basically what that is.
I would say that's probably a fair assessment. Yeah, definitely. But, sharing the points, nothing to write home about. Villa have not been great maybe the last couple of games, but Wolves aren't exactly setting the world on fire, so probably a fair result in the grand scheme of things.
It was one of the most exciting 0-0 games I've seen.
Yeah,
I thought it was, in the first half, Villa had so many chances. They hit the woodwork twice. Watkins and Mings both hit the bar. And then, it looked like Wolves were going to be led to the slaughter. And instead, Wolves came out the second half and looked much better. And then had a few chances themselves. And there was a couple of really good chances that they squandered, coming up towards the end of the game. It was literally two sort of open goal opportunities.
Yeah.
And the one you just saw in the photograph there, was how he's not managed to steer that into the net was unbelievable. Really, it was Saiz, wasn't it? And put it over the bar. Both teams had chances, but it just wasn't to beat anyone actually finishing off a goal in this one.
Yeah. So points shared at Villa Park. And Steve, that brings us to your team, Leicester City, picking up a big 3 points against Brighton away. So talk us through this one. How did this game go down?
Well, started off playing 3 at the back, and we just did not look comfortable at all. I'm not sure what the session is of Rodgers to play 3 at the back, whether it's to try and keep everyone happy when everyone's fit. I'm not entirely sure. It has been fairly successful, but we just don't look comfortable playing it. And Lallana scored quite early on. I think it was about the 10th or 12th minute. Really poor defending. And we were just really, really slow in the first half. The passing just wasn't there. We were trying these diagonal passes over to the right-hand side where Ricardo was. Brighton have got a 6'7" left back. It was ridiculous. It was a bit of a strange tactic to try. I think it paid off once where we got in, but it didn't fill me with much confidence going into the rest of the game. One moment that we had in the first half, Tavares, who made his Premier League debut, hit a lovely volley or half volley. Wonderful technique. Brought a good save out from the keeper.
Looks a good player.
Yeah, he showed glimpses. I think it took him a while to get used to the pace of the game. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
A few misplaced passes as well. But he looks like someone that wants to play the ball forward, wants to go forward with the ball, which is very much the sort of the tactics that we play nowadays. Maddison's always on the half turn. So's Barnes. He always wants to go forward. So he's going to fit in really well in terms of that. Second half, we were a lot more attacking wise, a lot more intent from Leicester. Slight change in formation, controlled the game a bit more. The pass from Tielemans through to Iheanacho was just sublime, just unbelievable. I don't know if you've seen the slow-mo or the camera from behind the goal, the camera shot from behind the goal. It's basically a no-look pass. The technique on it is just superb, and great finish by Iheanacho. I really thought he'd messed it up. I thought he took an extra touch. I was like, no, what are you doing? But actually, he waited for the keeper, sat the keeper down, and just quite nice little chip into the top corner. Was
taking his chance at the minute, the lad, isn't he, Iheanacho?
He is, and I think a lot of people, Leicester fans especially, that first season, we were like, God, we're not really sure about this guy. He's not going to get his chances. We're not with Vardy being in the team, but do you know what? He's scored a lot of goals. I know he's spent a lot of the time he comes off the bench, but I heard a stat the other day. I think I told you about this, Sonny, where if you add up all the minutes he's played and divide that into actual games, 90-minute games, he's played something like 61 games for Leicester and scored 27 goals and 13 assists.
It's not a bad return at all. And you have to remember, he's 23 years old.
Yeah.
He's only 23.
Yeah, he's still really, really young. He's a different type of player to Vardy, so he's not that long-term replacement for Vardy unless we change the way that we play. If he does want Iheanacho to be that long-term replacement. He's
probably better in a 2.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's good at getting the ball deep and then again making those runs. He's one of those players. He never looks like he's got control of the ball. He's just kind of like Paolo Wanchope. He's just stumbling his way through, and it's like he ends up on the edge of the box, hits it, and it either tests the keeper or it goes and hits the corner flag. He's one of those sorts of players. But Yeah, space. Once we got that goal, the space started opening up. Brighton were getting stretched, and we managed to get a goal at the very end. There was a penalty appeal just before that. I was screaming that it was a penalty when I was sat here, but actually, it wasn't a clear and obvious error by the referee. So much so that had the ref given the penalty, I don't think VAR would have overturned it. I'm absolutely fine with that. And that was my thought process before the goal as well. So it wasn't just a case of, we won, so it doesn't matter about the penalty.
Surprise scorer, though.
Yes. So Daniel Amati, who he doesn't fill me with confidence.
Yeah,
he doesn't fill me with confidence. He's the guy that got the winner last night. So look, he's one of those players that he came in. We still don't know what his best position is. I think we signed him as a central midfielder. He's played right back, centre back, played in a back three, a back two. He had a really bad injury a couple of years ago. So, credit to him. He's come back and he's playing. He's taking his chance at the minute, obviously with the few injuries that we've got, changing the formation around. But yeah, we got the goal and made 3 points because four of our next 5 league games are at home and our home form's pretty bad. So this is either going to be the start of a half decent run, or we're going to look back in about 6 games' time and think that was just papering over the cracks, really. So not bad for Brighton. They're a good side. Brighton are a good side. They're just really unlucky, and they're actually getting sucked into a relegation battle now, which is I wouldn't want to see them go, same as I wouldn't want to see Fulham go, to be honest. So, yeah, I did feel the football fan in me feels sorry for them. The Leicester fan in me doesn't care. We got 3 points.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask. I mean, you talk about Amati taking his chance and Iñárritu taking his chance. That's all you can ask of these guys. They are the the fringe players, the second string. Because obviously you would have Vardy play. You would have other players playing in midfield instead of Amati. So, if those players are coming in and stepping up, and you're snatching wins from, late in the game, you can't really ask for more than that. If you're not playing, outstanding football for the full 90 minutes, and you're still picking up 3 points, at the end, I don't think you can ask for much more than that.
No, you can't. You can't. I think as we're just touching on that, you mentioned Vardy. So it's 1 in his last 11 for Vardy, and that was a tap-in. So people are obviously focusing on that, but last night I thought he was superb. He defended from the front. He was linking up the play between midfield and himself, and laying the ball off to try and create a bit more. So, he still has a role. He's not just a goal scorer. He does do a bit more than that. I know people really focus on he's just a goal scorer, and when he doesn't score, he doesn't score, Leicester don't win. That's not true, but he does this. He'll get a couple of goals, and then he won't stop. So.
He will. He's an evergreen. It's Jamie Vardy. Great striker. One of the Premier League greats, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say so.
When he retires, he won't get the credit. He won't get the same sort of credit, I don't think, as maybe like a Drogba or a Torres or someone like that, because he hasn't got the trophies to back up what he's done. But the guy made his Premier League debut when he was 27, and by the age of 33, he scored over 100 goals in the Prem.
And he's won the Premier League,
And he's won the Premier League, and he's scored goals in some very average Leicester teams. I mean, he got 18 goals this season that Klopp, who was in charge. I mean, based on what I saw under that manager, those 18 goals must have come from about 20 shots, because we just didn't we didn't shoot, we didn't create chances under him. So the fact that he can do that even when the team aren't playing great just shows what a player he's been. In my opinion, our greatest ever player.
Well,
certainly in my generation, people will talk about Lineker and Shilton and Banks. I wasn't around then. So, yeah, for me, our greatest ever player.
Fair enough. Let's move on to a less entertaining game. Again, 2 teams that are not exactly setting the world on fire, do find themselves in a relegation battle. West Brom 0, Newcastle United 0. Anyone got anything for this?
I predicted this one to be the big scorer of the weekend. I was thinking it was going to be 3-2. It was going to be shots galore. It was going to be all over the show. But apart from a cleverly worked corner for John Joe Shelby, we didn't see too much else really happen, did we? There was a few shots blazed over into the back of the stands. I think Willock had a shot at one point near the end of the game, but apart from that, it really wasn't the exciting affair I was expecting, to be honest.
I thought that. Go on.
Chris, carry on.
I thought would have been better, considering how well they played against us in midweek, because they've really pushed us. Okay, we were really pedestrian in that game, but they did really push us in this game. It didn't seem like they wanted it at all. Well, neither team wanted it, really.
Yeah, which is bizarre for two teams that really need points. Because there's still plenty of football to be played, and that both of them are, West Brom especially, really having to battle to get out of there, and you would expect more fight from teams down that end of the table, but not to be. Newcastle will be happy with that point, probably.
I'd say so, yeah, because they're ahead of them in the league, aren't they? So
yeah.
As long as it makes Sam Allardyce cry, I'm happy with it.
It's touching down the bottom now. I'm just looking at the table, and
Fulham, it is.
After today, obviously, Fulham are on 26. So are Brighton. Brighton have got a game in hand by the looks of it, and so have Newcastle, but they're on 27. So they're right in there.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Burnley will be fine, but Newcastle down. Oof. I mean, Sheffield United are gone, but Fulham. Any one of those three could go down. I think West Brom will go as well, but I think any one of them three could end up in there.
I think it's between them three now for that.
Definitely,
last spot.
I just think Burnley are too good. I do. I know that they're not. I know that they're not. Up there and renowned for playing the world's greatest football, but I just think they're too good to go back down. They just seem to do it every year.
Yeah, they're a gritty team. They're a gritty team.
Yeah, big time. I said this to Danny last week when he was on, and they are. I just think they are too good. They're one of them teams you hate to play.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I think Brighton have got a concern though that they keep. They take this lead at home and then they squander it every week. It's happened a couple of times now, and there was a big portion of that match against Leicester yesterday where I thought Brighton looked solid for the win, and I thought Leicester haven't showed up compared to how they normally do. And then suddenly, they just couldn't cling on, and it was like the commentators' curse, because the commentators were saying, "Oh, will they manage to cling on?" It was like, you just knew it was going to happen.
The stats up, didn't they? They kept flashing the stats up. Brighton have dropped the most points from leading positions at home, and Leicester have scored the most goals in the last 15 minutes of games. It was almost written. It was going to happen.
They talked it in, didn't they? It was literally one of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, great result for you. But Brighton must be good, because it's not the first time it's happened in the last couple of months where at home they took the lead and then they've ended up losing. And they are right down there. And Fulham are obviously. We mentioned about Fulham on pre-added time on Friday, and I said they're in the ascendancy. And I said, I just hope they don't do the business over us. Unfortunately, it was us who did the business on ourselves in today's match. But Fulham are have got a good chance to move out of that bottom lot still, I think. And Newcastle and Brighton really have to be careful. So and as you say, Burnley are a solid team, but they could still get dragged into that quagmire at the bottom there, and it could be.
They could do, yeah. I mean,
the four of them.
I think with Burnley, I mean, Burnley could have easily lost against Leicester midweek. I thought Leicester were good. So it looked like Leicester were going to finish them off at the back end of that game, because the changes that Leicester made a huge difference, and Burnley I don't quite think knew how to deal with it. So I mean, Burnley probably unlucky, probably lucky to get a point midweek, and then so it is a tough one there, but I don't think Burnley. Still think Burnley are too strong to. I think they'll find the points.
Yes. Yeah, they always do, though, don't they? They always do.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, Chris, I cut you off there, mate, before you were going to say something.
No, I was going to say, when you look at the bottom of the table there, Southampton Palace could get pulled in there. Palace haven't exactly played fantastic either. I know they picked up a point here and there, but they've been on a really bad run of form. And they're missing Zaha as well, aren't they? You know, their talisman.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be pretty dire for, you know, they'd have to be pretty dire these next few weeks to get dragged into it. But you know what? If Palace and Southampton are going to get dragged into it, you know, Leeds and Wolves could easily get dragged into it too. But it looks like they've got games in hand, actually. 2 games in hand over Fulham. Unless that's not including this weekend's games.
And Palace play West Brom on the weekend as well, don't they? So,
yeah.
Tasty.
You fancy Palace there. We'll come to that in a little bit with the predictions, but we'll move on to the big result of the day. Fulham beating Liverpool at Anfield. Mike, what's going wrong here, mate? It's getting embarrassing now, ain't it?
It's just getting silly, isn't it? But that was the 6th loss at home on the run, which is obviously not what we wanted to see. I didn't write much down for the first half. It was madness, I thought, the changes that we'd made. We brought in so many, players that don't normally play. Nico Williams was on, Phillips was on, Reece was in. Keita came back into midfield with Milner and Shaqiri. It was a real hodgepodge of a team, and not a team we've ever played together at Liverpool. So, I didn't think it was a strong lineup to start with, but I was still excited to see Jota and Keita back on. Obviously, the link-up play wasn't dreadful, but Fulham looked threatening from the start. And I've watched quite a lot of Fulham games recently, and I said, they're on the ascendancy. They're looking good, and they're fighting to get out of that battle and could cause us trouble. And, there was a few times at the back that they were causing us trouble. And obviously, we invited it on ourselves with Salah taking that touch on the edge of the box, and Lamina just snapped it off and buried it bottom corner. I still felt like the keeper could have done better. It could have come to the goalkeeper there, but it's 1-0, fair play to them. And that's you get another bad first half for us. That we haven't scored. They were showing on our stats we haven't scored. We've scored a penalty at Anfield in them games, and that's it. Since Christmas time we've just had this hoodoo basically where we're not doing too well. A little plane flew over in the second half, saying you'll never walk alone and everything. We're all behind you or whatever. And I was watching it. I just thought we desperately just need a goal here, and it'll change things about a bit. And then we just couldn't get one. There was chances going begging left, right, and centre. We did put the pressure on, but it still just doesn't look like the team who won the championship last season, or even the team who were playing at the beginning of the season when we started to lose a bit of confidence and weren't playing as well. And teams had sort of sussed us out a little bit. We don't even look like that team anymore, And the concern is that with Graham Souness and people and Roy Keane were analysing it backstage, weren't they? And they, just couldn't. They just can't explain what's happened. It's just it's not just the injuries anymore. It's there's a lot of people with their heads down. A lot of people, the confidence has gone. I think a big part of it as well is the fans. The no fans being there. The fans literally are a 12th man, and I think any club could argue that. But I think some of the biggest players in the world really do perform for the fans. And it's no sort of excuse that they can't perform without the fans being there. But I think it is a big boost, and I think when you see fans being let back in, I do think you'll see a lot of teams' fortunes change, especially teams who are playing a lot better than you'd expect them to. I think it'll be all sorts of changes, and you'll be watching completely different football matches as well. So
I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, injuries haven't helped you at all. I mean, you've had to put out, you said it was a hodgepodge team. I mean, you've pretty much had to, put out similar type of teams. You've had midfielders playing in central defence, and, you've had to put out, mix and match teams for a lot of the season. I mean, but you do still have quality there. You've got great players. I mean, that front three, Salah, Mane, Firmino, I'm not a big fan of. I do think you need a proper central striker. The addition of Jota.
Chris was saying that wasn't earlier on in the week.
I think you desperately need a proper central striker. You've not had one since Daniel Sturridge left. He was probably a proper central striker.
You'd say Luis Suarez as well, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Suarez, of course. Yeah.
And
forgot about
Suarez as well was great. But,
only a world-class striker.
But it's just one of them, isn't it? It's not they're not performing well at the moment. And I've watched every game, and you can just see it doesn't seem to get better each match. It seems to get worse because they get into this routine where they're just passing it about, and you can see the skills are still there and everything, but just the confidence level isn't quite there, and just there's that cutting edge that we seem to be missing when we get to the edge of the opponent's penalty area. Whereas a couple of seasons ago, the defence were panicking and we were just slotting it through and scoring. There's just the teamwork's missing. Just everything you need to be an exciting team and create fear in your opponent. That's what we're missing most. It's just that cutthroat goal scoring, attitude, and that's what we're missing. The confidence is missing. I think. I keep saying this. I think a big part of it as well is the fact that they all worked so hard to win the league last year, and then there was never that sort of "you've won the league" thing. There was a bit of a celebration outside Anfield, but because of the lockdown, a lot of people couldn't go to that. They didn't get to celebrate with the fans. I think a lot of the players probably would have felt, if it was me, I would have felt, like I've done all this work, we've won the league, first time in 30 years, and then you just missed out on like the celebration of winning it completely. I'm not surprised. A few of them are feeling deflated. It's like they've missed out on winning the Premier League last season, really. I think that it probably, hasn't helped at all. And they've moved from Melwood to the new training ground. So there's all sorts of factors involved in it, obviously. But what Klopp said after today's game is, he's going out there to win matches, and at the moment we're not winning them. So we need to get back on track. A lot of people are saying we're going to have to focus on the Champions League now, but that we should be focusing on that anyway, and the Premier League. It should have been retaining the title this season, and instead we're going to be, the way we're playing, we're going to be lucky to finish in the top half of the table at the moment, unless there's a quick turnaround and we find a bit of form, because at the moment we're looking like we could drop off the top half of the table, which is never any good. So and we all said how bad Arsenal have been this season. It's a real fall from grace for them, but I've never seen a team have a slide down the table this dramatic that we've had after being champions last season. It's really the worst spell I've ever seen a team have.
You got to believe top four for Liverpool now.
Yeah, you would have to say so with the way the points are and the games in hand. Yeah, because you're going to struggle to catch up to West Ham, to Everton, and to even like Tottenham and Aston Villa have got games in hand who are around us, and it's going to be a struggle. So not what we wanted to see. But as the little plane said, I can't quite remember what it did say, but we go again anyway next season.
I think you said Klopp out.
No, we didn't. That's the Blue fans saying that.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was Chris saying that. Yeah.
I thought Lookman had a good game on the left against Hughes today.
You know what I thought? I thought Fulham looked decent. There was a couple of them who showed up today, and they were threatening. And unfortunately, Nico Williams, who I've always enjoyed watching him come on when we were winning the league or whatever, but I thought he looked a little bit out of place there. It's probably just lack of game time, to be honest, because I've seen him play for Wales and other seasons, and he's looked great. But today, I thought he was getting run a bit ragged, and the defence. There was a couple of times where they looked strong, some big headers from our defence, but then it wasn't to be today. And even when Mane came on, he just looked frustrated, and Salah looked frustrated. Jota had a few good touches. There were a few chances in the second half for us. We did put the pressure on a little bit with the crossbar, but it just wasn't good enough, unfortunately. And I predicted 3-1, and Fulham got the 1, but Liverpool didn't come through with the 3 for me. So we'll have to see how the next prediction goes.
Yeah, we don't have an up-to-date predictions league this week because the production has been a little bit slack. But yeah, he says he's not got around to doing it, which is just not good enough. We're looking for a new producer, just so you know, everyone. So
I can tell you something. I either predict the correct results for the wrong teams, or I predict the correct scores but for the wrong matches. So we had Burnley 1-1 with Arsenal, and Sheffield United 2-0 against Southampton. I had them scores back to front. So that was good for me, but not the right games. And almost every Liverpool score I've predicted back to front in the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks. So I predicted we beat Everton 2-0, we lost 2-0, and so on and so forth. So so I'll try and not keep.
You know what to do this week, then, don't you?
Just say that we're going to lose. I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it.
Right, moving on then.
Wolves.
Big game at the Etihad today, the Manchester derby. Manchester City against my Manchester United. And to be honest, woke up this morning with that sense of dread, just thinking, you know what? Take the loss, move on, and just go again. Because, you know, the way we played in midweek against Crystal Palace didn't exactly inspire any confidence whatsoever that we would go to the Etihad today and pick up a result. But you know what? I thought we were excellent. I really do think we were excellent. The game obviously started great for us. Gabriel Jesus with a moment of madness. Not sure what he's playing at. Not even sure what he's doing back there, to be honest. But he fouls Martial. Definite penalty. You know, probably not even any need to look at it. But yeah, perfect start. But Bruno Fernandes, who, you know, doesn't turn up against the top six, just like United don't turn up against the top six, puts the penalty away despite, you know, Edison getting a hand on it. But great start for United, and City just never recovered from it. You know, they had plenty of the ball. They pass it around nice, but they didn't really do anything. I mean, Dean Henderson didn't have much of a save to make. He didn't have to, dig us out the crap like he did against Palace on Wednesday when Van Aanholt went through and, he had to pull off a save. There's nothing like that. I mean, a couple of shots from long range, one that he parried out. But, defensively, we were everyone did their job. Front lads and the lads at the back, that everyone did their job. And then, Luke Shaw, who's been excellent all season, he really has. Put the second away, great finish. But City just let us bully them down that left-hand side. The pace of, Shaw and Rashford, and then James, when he switched over to the left, they just couldn't handle the pace. It's obviously not easy to play against pace, but City, they've been, very good at the back recently, and they've been scoring goals for fun. So the fact that today we've shut them out and scored 2 against them, I think we thoroughly deserve that 2-0 today. But that it's another frustrating thing because we're not doing it consistently. That side that Palace put out on Wednesday, we should have been steamrolling them with the team that we put out, but they couldn't see the ball through the mist. So, that was the big thing.
The excuse for fog, wasn't it?
Yeah, but today we definitely deserved the 2-0, and I thought we were good value for it. I'm not under any illusion that we're going to catch them up or anything like that because that's gone. City are going to win the league, but it's good to be. Oh, there's a goal in the Tottenham Crystal Palace game. Let's cut to John Scott. Here he is. Look, beaming.
Happy. Great goal, Mr. Gareth Bale. Very tidy finish indeed. It was given away by Crystal Palace right at the back, just messing around with the ball like Arsenal did. Not as bad as Xhaka, I've got to say, but nicely tucked away. Harry Kane, as usual at the minute, the provider. He's like the Zidane at the minute in the midfield. But yeah, very, very comfortable so far. I think I just saw a stat and it said Crystal Palace had only had like 3% in our half. So far so good. Let's hope, let's pray that Mr. Mourinho doesn't go, right, let's stick on all the defenders now and shut shop. Go on save mode, as I say, on a football manager. Let's hope we don't go that route. But yeah, I'm happy so far, lads. Keep up the good work.
All right, Tottenham winning 1-0. Tottenham winning 1-0. Gareth Bale playing well at the minute.
Picked up. He's really picked up.
Yeah, fair play to him. It's good to see him get back to some sort of form. Obviously, world-class player. Not his fault that Real Madrid spent that ridiculous money on him. But, good to see him, picking up some form. But as long as they don't do too well, that's fine with me. Yeah. But yeah, so
back on par, really.
Yeah. But yeah, good result for United today. I'm really happy. I thought we played really well. I thought we thoroughly deserved it. West Ham at home next. That should be a decent game. Lingard won't be able to play. And, we're just about ticking on now. We've just got to tick on, see the rest of the season out, strengthen where we need to strengthen, which is obviously at the back in the summer, and then, see how we do next year. But, we're still in the cup. We're still in the Europa League. Still plenty of chances for a trophy this season. But for me, I think we have definitely progressed as a team this season, the fact that we've been up there all season. But, yeah, I'm really happy with the result today because it was totally unexpected. I'd have been happy with anything other than a loss, and I was expecting a loss. So for us to win 2-0 and shut them out totally, then I'm absolutely delighted with that.
That's how we felt we beat you at Anfield.
Oh God, here he goes. All right, well, I was going to say, I thought City looked a little bit looked a little bit jaded today. To be honest, I think they didn't. They always say on the commentary, "Oh, here we go, City are moving through the gears." But I didn't feel like they did move through the gears as much today. You know, I didn't feel like they hit their stride really. And two interesting things I took away from the match was one, I couldn't believe the fact that De Gea has played in every sort of Manchester derby since that Rooney overhead kick.
I know, I couldn't believe that. Yeah.
That was the stat that they said, wasn't it? Yeah, I couldn't believe that. And the other thing was, I still can't believe that that City have got Aguero sitting on the sidelines. What's that all about? What's happened there?
Well, he obviously fancies Jesus, but for me, I mean,
he's been injured, hasn't he? Pretty much all season. I think he'll be moved on.
Yeah, because it just seems odd that he's if they said on the commentary he was fit and ready to play, but he's just sitting off on the bench. You know, what a talented striker he's been. He's been a real star for them. So I'm surprised they haven't even tried to integrate him back into the team a bit more, especially in a match like that where you're. When you're losing or whatever, you'd think send him on and give him a runabout, But
I was surprised Foden didn't start as well. To be honest, he came on and changed things for him, made him look a lot better. He's actually pumping balls into the box, which caused us a bit of trouble. But again, United dealt with it. But I agree with you. I think City looked a little jaded, maybe a little leggy, but they're still the best team in the league.
Yeah, not to take anything away from you, it was a good
no,
result
not at all. No.
Really good.
Yeah, I thought we played really well. Right, so before we'll move on to predictions next, but Mike, if you want to lead this in, mate.
Yeah, certainly, guys. We've got a little advert now for you that we're going to show, and it's about TNT Extreme Wrestling from Liverpool, which is the wrestling promotion where I ring announce, and I've been there for nearly 6 years now. We've just had our 6th birthday, and I joined for the 2nd show. So I'm really proud to work at TNT. We bring the best independent wrestling from the UK to you guys. And you can catch all our content on Powered 4 TV. Make sure to check it out for all our future shows. And take it away. Have a little look at this.
Jockeying for position. Neither man wants to give an inch, but something's got to give at some point.
Up and over goes Pack.
All right, TNT Extreme, exclusively on Powered 4 TV, your home of UK independent professional wrestling. You can hear Mike and myself performing our various duties for different promotions across the country. And yeah, start your free trial today, $7.99 a month, absolute bargain, top quality content. Right, so moving on then. Predictions for the next game week before we bring John in for his halftime review of the game. Do we have a list of the fixtures here, producer? Like I said, we are looking for another producer. Oh, there we go. Right. Right, tomorrow then, Chelsea versus Everton, 6:00 kickoff. Chelsea at home. Chris, we'll start with you here, mate. What's your prediction for the score?
I'm going 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah,
Steve?
I'd like to beat Chelsea though.
Of course.
I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea, unfortunately. I could do with Chelsea dropping some points, to be honest. They're getting near to that top four. I'm worried they're going to take our place.
They're in it, aren't they?
So. Are they on it? Are they in it now?
They're in it now, yeah.
Yeah. So
No, West Ham ain't in there no more.
Could do with them dropping points, but I think they'll win.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, I predicted these on Friday with John. I went for 1-1 Chelsea-Everton.
I'm gonna go with an Everton win. A 2-1.
Man after my own heart.
2-1 Everton. Look at the smile on your face, Mike. You love it.
After his own heart, but not after his brain. He's just gone for 1-1 and then he said 2-1.
I'm not going to say we're going to win because it'll backfire and we'll lose.
Yeah, that's
what Mike's been doing for the last few weeks, mate.
Weeks, mate. You don't want to put money on it either. It gets even worse.
No.
Right, West Ham at home to Leeds tomorrow night, 8:00. That should be a good game, actually. Chris, what are you thinking with this one?
I've gone 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah, I can see West Ham picking one up here. Steve, what do you reckon?
Who knows with Leeds? Could be like 4-4 or something.
Yeah, it's true.
I'd have 2-1 West Ham as well. Actually, that's a good shout.
That's what I predicted, guys, as well on Friday's show. So yeah, I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 West Ham, just to be a little bit different.
Leeds can be really exciting, but the last couple of matches, they seem to just be missing something they had earlier on in the season. So, yeah, it'd be an intriguing match, that one, though. I think should be a good one to watch.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think so. Man City, Southampton, that's a midweeker. Man City at home. Obviously, they're just coming off the back of a loss, Man City. So, Chris?
2-0 City.
Yep. Steve?
4-0 City.
Mike?
I went for 2-0 City as well.
Yeah, I can't see anything other than a City win here. I know Southampton picked up the points this week, but can't see them beating City. I'm going to go 3-0 City, yeah.
City could be on a violent rampage after today's.
Yeah, potentially, especially sort of leading into the back end of the season. You can definitely see it, can't you? Right. Then we've got Newcastle, Aston Villa, which is on, I'm trying to see when that is. Friday, that is. Newcastle at home to Aston Villa, 8:00 Friday night on BT Sport. Chris, how'd you see this one going?
Gone 1-0 Villa. I think they'll have enough to scrape it.
Yeah,
I can see that. Definitely. Steve?
I was going to go 1-0 Villa as well, but I'll go 2-0 now. Just to spice it up.
I'm sticking
Mike?
with what I wrote down. I wrote 1-0 Villa down as
Yeah,
well, so I'm sticking with it. Me and Chris just got all the same so far. So
High five.
See, Everton and Liverpool can get on.
Well,
I don't know, man. Newcastle are a funny team. They need the points. They really, really need the points to get out of there. But I'm going to go for a draw, 0-0.
Yeah, you could see it, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
It's also a good shout.
Yeah, I could definitely see 0-0
Low scoring game.
Yeah, low to no scoring. Yeah. Right, so move on to, these are the Saturday games. because there might not be a pre-added time this week. We've been told. We'll see though. They might still turn up, but we'll do the predictions anyway. Boost the prediction league a little bit as well, because I haven't played a part in the Friday one, so you've all been playing catch up to me.
Don't worry, I got them all wrong.
No. Right then, Leeds in action again at home to Chelsea, 12:30 Saturday. Again, this is another one with the potential to be a really good game. Chris, what do you reckon?
Gone 3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. Steve?
2-0 Chelsea. Leeds suffer a little bit at home. I think, like Mike said earlier, I think they've missed their fans big time this year, especially at home. But yeah, 2-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean they really packed that stadium out. I mean, they've got one of the best away supports probably in the country as well. So yeah, they definitely miss the fans. It might be a different story for them when fans are back. They might see themselves boosted a little bit. Mike, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I went for 2-1 Chelsea. I do think they are really missing the fans at Elland Road. So Chelsea, I think might do the business there. Be another good game though. Leeds are always entertaining.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit on the fence here again and go with a draw. I think 1-1. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 1-1 here. Right, Crystal Palace and West Brom. This should be an interesting one. Again, teams needing points big time. Chris, start with you here again, mate.
We've gone 1-1. I think they're going to cancel each other out.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see it. They're two teams that need the points. I mean, West Brom, they're not bad. That's the thing. They're not a bad side. And Palace, when they've got all their players fit, which, isn't the case at the minute, they're not a bad side. Steve, what do you think, mate?
I'm torn between either a Palace win or 0-0. I think Palace have just got enough. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Palace.
2-1. I think you're giving both of them teams too much credit there for their scoring prowess.
Yeah, it's West Brom, because obviously Allardyce wants to set them up to be really defensive, but at some point he's got to let them go so they can actually try and win games, because they've got to stay up. But he won't do it, will he?
Doesn't do that.
No, he just won't do it. No.
Doesn't do
I think it's too late, isn't it? So no, I'm gonna stick with that. Palace 2-1. Go with the home side.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I've gone for Palace 2-0, but West Brom I thought looked pretty decent towards the end against Everton. That striker they've got there, is it Diagne? He looked pretty good, and I think he's going to get a goal eventually. Whether can't see it being against Tottenham tonight, so I've put 2-0. But Palace could suffer if he suddenly turns up there in that one. But I'll be keeping an eye on him, because he looked quite a dangerous strike. He scored against Everton, but he was he was offside, wasn't he, Chris?
Yeah, that was very close though. I still think Pickford should have come out for that ball when that came in.
Yeah, definitely. Stu mentioned that a couple of times. He was fuming at Pickford again in that game.
My remote was about to fly in the front room. I tell you.
I'm gonna go for a draw. 0-0. I don't think either team can score. I think Palace are missing their scorers, and I think West Brom, like you said, Big Sam plays defensive, and I just can't see him letting them loose. And even if he does, which he won't, I don't think they'll get past Palace. So 0-0. I'm going to go for there. This should be a good one. Chris, Everton taking on Burnley this weekend. What's your score prediction here?
Right, I've gone for 1-0. Only the case, our home form is terrible.
To Everton, yeah?
Yeah, 1-0 to Everton.
Yeah.
Sorry, just 1-0 to anyone.
Just 1-0.
Just 1-0. No, I just think because of our home form's so dodgy, you don't know which Everton's turning up. Obviously, we beat Southampton on Monday, and that might have turned the corner. But I'm played it safe, because obviously our home form's just one way or another. You don't know which Everton turns up.
Such a strange thing at the minute, because home and away form with no fans, it shouldn't really matter, should it? But it is really affecting teams. Yeah. It's really affecting teams. Steve, what do you think here?
1-1. I think Everton's home form's just a bit too dicey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mike?
I went for Everton 1-0. I think they'll outclass Danny's Burnley. But interesting thing you mentioned about the home and away form. There was a stat this week, and it was they were saying home and away form hasn't really affected it as much this season. It was something like 97 to 103 for home and away matches or something like that.
It's really, really close. They mentioned it earlier on. There wasn't many home wins recently. I think a lot. It's weird. It's just really strange.
All our home wins have gone, so that's what it is. That's why it's more.
Yeah, you're taking the average down. That's what it is.
I think I'm right in saying as well. It's the lowest number of so far at this point, lowest number of draws that we've seen in the Premier League season as well. I think teams
that's probably
either go for it or lose.
Yeah, I mean, and here we are. Most of us predicting draws.
Yeah.
Now you've just chucked that stat at us. Cheers. Can we go back and start these predictions again, please?
You did see the difference when Everton had fans in the ground when we beat Chelsea and Arsenal on the bounce.
It definitely makes a difference.
Yeah,
it definitely does. It really does. I mean, you play. That's what you play for, ain't it? You want them. You want them loud atmospheres. You want to be kicking into the cop in the second half. You want to be kicking into the Stretford end. You need that boost. Like I saw the other week, they were like swapping ends before kickoffs. Like, what's the point? You're not kicking into anyone. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I'd like to kick into no one in the second half, please. Weird. I'm going to go 2-1 Everton for that one, by the way.
Okay.
I think Everton will win. Fulham, Man City at Fulham. Chris?
2-0 City.
Yeah. Steve?
2-1 City.
Mike?
I went for 2-0 City as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 City. Can't see anything but a wallop in there. But, again, Fulham playing all right, but I just think City will be way too much for them. Way too much. Right, that brings us to Sunday's games. So we got Southampton at home to Brighton on the Beeb. That should be a good one. Chris?
2-1 Southampton.
Steve?
2-1 Southampton.
Mike?
South Coast clash. I've gone for 2-2. So you get an exciting little 2-2 draw there.
Yeah, that's a decent one for the Beeb, that. I'm going to go 2-1 Southampton. Leicester against Sheffield United at the King Walker's Filbert Power Stadium. Chris?
2-0 Leicester.
Steve?
3-0 Leicester.
Mike?
Yeah, I've gone for 3-0 Leicester as well. I think it'll be the Sheffield United. I just can't see them handling Leicester, even with players missing.
Yeah, 4-0 Leicester. I'm going to go there. Iñárritu brace.
Vardy.
Then someone else will score. Yeah.
Vardy to get one against the team that he doesn't like very much.
Yeah.
Here's a funny one for you. Jamie Vardy has won Goal of the Month twice for Sheffield Wednesday, despite never playing for them. When he scored against Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday fans voted it as Goal of the Month.
And we've got a goal. Let's bring in John here so we can get the latest action from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. John, what you got for us, mate?
Bloody ridiculous. We've done it to ourselves. I put this jacket on, me winning jacket, me AJ Styles, and this is what happens when I put it on. Oh my God. Ben Teke, of all people, comes up with a goal. If you can believe that. Header straight in, no stopping it, nothing Lloris could have done. I can't fault the goalkeeper, but we've done it to ourselves. This is exactly what I was not hoping for. I've got to be honest with you. I knew this would happen. We start sitting back, playing that Jose way again. But the good thing is we still got another 45 minutes. So at least we can go and attack again for a little while before he sits back after another goal. Let's hope anyway. But do you know what, Palace, to be fair to them, they have stuck at it with this 2 up front. It's a bit old school. But credit to him. I'll tell you who's had a good game is our old player Townsend. He's been all over us. So, 1-1, people.
All right, cool. We'll come back to you in just a couple of minutes, mate. There we go. 1-1. It's the latest score line there. Yeah, I said, all right, okay. So moving on then. John Scott's Spurs. Oof.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, made a balls up there. Sorry, John. John Scott's Spurs are going to the Emirates to take on Arsenal. That's the North London derby. Should be tasty. Chris?
Nice little draw, 1-1.
Yeah, I can definitely see a draw. Steve?
Yeah, 2-2.
Mike?
I think that derby could throw up some surprises. I'm going to go for. I think that's going to be an interesting one. So I'm going to go for 3-2 to Spurs. A shock away win to Spurs because, I predicted as well that they'd win 2-1 tonight. So I need Spurs to come out the second half and get a goal for me to help me with me.
That's Palace. That's Palace winning 2-1. Anyone who's listening, right? Listen to Mike's predictions and bet opposite. You'll be in big money next week. Right, and then Manchester United home to West Ham. Chris?
2-1 United.
Steve?
2-0 United.
Mike?
I went for 2-1 United.
I'm going to go 3-1 United. 3-1 United. And then we should be doing added. Saying that I won't be on added time next week. Actually, I'll be doing the halftime report because of United playing. So I'll be there. I'm gonna have to wear a suit now. You've set a precedent, dickheads.
Mate, you need to do a green screen next week and be at Old Trafford or whatever it is.
Mike, just for you, I'll set the green screen up and we'll get something in the background.
Do it. That would be amazing. With like your coat on, like proper.
Yeah.
I'll
get a scarf on as well. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. See what the weather's like. Right. Let's bring John in then for the halftime report. Tottenham 1, Crystal Palace 1.
I'm happy. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm back. It's half time. It's not too bad just yet. I was just looking at the stats. Really typical. This is 4 shots four shots altogether for Spurs. Only 1 for Palace, and of course that's the one that went in. But there you go. But do you know what? Mr. Bowles looked decent all game. I reckon he'll only probably stay on for another 15 minutes though, because I reckon Dele Alli will come on at some point. But it does go to show you something that we've all spoke about with Spurs, that when you've got Bow, Kane and Son up top with somebody like Lucas coming between, it's almost like the defenders don't know who to mark first, and it does help you because they've started doubling up on Gareth Bale, which now starts to let Son have a little bit more of the ball. Because he's been off the pace a little bit the last couple of weeks. But I don't know. This could be one of those ones that we may just mess up altogether, fellas. Nothing would surprise me with Tottenham.
Mike's had 2 on Tottenham, so you could be in trouble here, mate, to be honest.
Well, yeah. And I heard the Arsenal.
I'm sorry. It was
you put in there, Sonny,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The dick.
I know. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Too busy paying attention to reading Arsenal on my phone, and that
was it. Yeah, that was it. But yeah, not a bad game. But the thing is, it's always I say that, but to be honest, that's only because I'm watching Tottenham. When the commentators start talking about bits and pieces of the stadium, it's probably saying to you it's not overly entertaining, to be honest with you. I mean, they must have come up with like 20 stats about the bloody stadium. Yeah,
my missus is going to see Lady Gaga at the Tottenham Stadium. That'd be pretty entertaining, wouldn't it?
Well, it might be more entertaining than this, so to be fair.
Keep your poker face, John. Keep your poker face.
I am. Yeah. Very good, Michael. Very good. I didn't know you was up on your Lady Gaga.
I'm up on everything. Quizmaster, me, mate.
Yeah.
Mike, sorry, John, how'd you see this one finishing, mate?
I've got a feeling that we will pull this back. I think it'll be 2-1. But the thing is, I don't like us scoring too soon, because then there's more time for it to sit back and do Jose's defensive stuff. So it's like at the minute, we're better at the minute on 1-1 than we are winning the game. It's ridiculous. That's how I feel at the minute, the way Jose sets up. But I got a feeling that we'll have too much. What I will point out is Zaha is on the bench, which worries me a little bit. I don't know how fit he is, but he is on the bench for him tonight, and that would be a bit of a concern if he comes on, because he'll cause us a lot of problems.
That's good news for Palace, considering the fight that they're in. Obviously, we've been talking about Palace a bit tonight, when we've been doing the predictions and that, and that's a good return, because obviously, he's involved in so many of their goals, across the season. So, yeah, maybe not good for Tottenham, but especially as Mike's had 2-1, we'll keep getting that in there.
I'm just putting a bet on Zaha to score in the second half.
Yeah, our predictions were terrible from Friday, Mike. I've got to say, I don't think we got any of them right.
If you took all my score lines and shuffled them like dominoes and then put them with different matches, you would have got them all right. So I even said Man City, Man United 2-0 to City.
Well, Mike, I appreciate it. I really do.
Mate, anything to help you out, don't you worry.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. Well, John,
and on that bombshell, shall I predict Wolves Liverpool for next Monday?
No, don't. For your own sake, don't. John, thanks very much for dropping in and giving us the halftime report, mate.
Welcome.
Hope you get on.
In the second half.
Yeah, hope you get on well in the second half, mate.
Yeah, I won't comment anything on our group because that always goes pretty bad for me as well. Especially after last week with that 1-1. So, yes, see you all later, fellas. Have a good one. I'll see you next week for Who's There. Sonny, I expect you in a suit, my friend. Or resting attire, one of the two. Yeah,
I think we're going to go for a suit. Mike wants me to pull the green screen out and get Old Trafford in the background.
I think so. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. That's what we'll have to do. When this gets bigger and bigger, we'll have to start contacting the ground, see if they'll let us there.
Yeah, we'll get some permissions sorted out. We'll get ourselves down there.
Yeah.
Good luck with the producer on that one. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's down to him, that is. There we go. Cheers, John.
All right. See you later, fellas. Have a good one.
See ya.
See you, mate. Good to see you.
All right, so it's been another fun episode of Added Time. We will be back next week. I'll be on live score duty for the United game. And I'm not sure who's going to be here next week. I assume the three of you guys will be here.
I'll do my best to pop in, definitely.
Yeah, and probably John as well. It'll be John, won't it?
It'll be, won't it be the first time I won't have to tell you that we've lost the game because we're not playing till Monday?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, hopefully the Added Time curse will be over for you next week, Mike.
That's it. That might be it.
Yeah.
It'll just be fixture congestion.
Yeah, we'll blame that. Blame whatever you want.
We have got a Champions League match on Tuesday night, I believe, or it's Wednesday night this week, actually, against Leipzig. So, we've got to go and finish that tie off as well. So,
yeah,
could have that to celebrate next week.
At least you can blame being knackered, on losing to Wolves next week.
Well, no excuses. Just got to win the Champions League now. That's it.
No, that's it. Yeah. Well, if you can't get top four, you may as well win that. Right, guys. On that note, thank you very much for watching this week's episode of Added Time. My name is Sonny G, and I've been with Steve, Mike, and Chris. And the show will be back next week at 7:00, as we are every single Sunday. Catch you later, guys. Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.
This is me, Mackenzie! She eats 5 sandwiches strong.